We're live here at Limaland Motorsports Park, where the biggest race of the season once again brings in some of the biggest names in NASCAR. We'll talk to Casey Kane in the pit stop update. That's coming up. Your News Now is next.
The upgrades on and around Dean White Court haven't really taken away from that vintage feel. They've simply added color. While the buzz and the adrenaline many times is more than enough to get the players through their many stops on the way to Phoenix, the real letdown comes when most of them are reassigned to Portland and grabbing their bag at the jetport. The rain and the gloomy weather is a fitting way for the Patriots to open their 2013 training camp, given all the dark clouds circling around the Aaron Hernandez situation.
Pretty much everything and anything that you can imagine that could happen in an open forum like this, people chanting, shouting into the cameras. I can't even imagine what's going on behind me right now.
A win tonight for Maine would put them well on their way to becoming just the fourth team in hockey's history in the past 16 years to win an 8-versus-1 matchup. Lee, if you ever wanted to know what $82 million looks like, there you have it on the mound. Sox starter John Lackey in his fourth year with Boston, making a rehab start with the Sea Dogs. Two of the most common questions brought up throughout the press conference: health and family. The main reasons why Meyer stepped down at Florida. Before he was able to become the 24th Buckeye head coach, it was something he had to clear with his family.
Andy, the people behind the scenes here at Dutch Hollow Road work year-round for this event. With weather like this and a guest like I have here, you can certainly understand why. Joined by NASCAR driver Casey Kane. Casey, you were here back in 2007. What was it about Limaland that brought you back?
Good evening, everyone. With all the questions surrounding UMaine hockey's head coaching position, today the Black Bears lost the man many outsiders felt had the answers. 9 years ago, the Red Sox fans were ecstatic to simply win their first World Series in 86 years. Now they have a chance to do something they haven't done since that 1918 championship by clinching the World Series back at Fenway Park. It was without a doubt the most bizarre offseason in Patriots history, from losing the franchise's most prolific receiver in Wes Welker in free agency, to signing the league's most polarizing player in Tim Tebow, to the dark clouds that have lingered around Foxborough surrounding the dismissal of former teammate Aaron Hernandez, who was subsequently charged with murder. The most talked about third stringer in the history of sports is now history with the Patriots. Tim Tebow was released by New England yesterday, lasting less than 3 months with the organization. Saturday was an important day for the 8th-ranked UMaine football team, where a win would give them their best start to a season in program history. It also give them a clinch of the share for the Colonial Athletic Association title. Opposites attracting for the 8-1 Black Bears as they took on 1-8 Albany. This one tight throughout, 25 seconds into the fourth. Omar Osborne with the 4-yard TD. That ties the game at 27. On UMaine's next possession, the Black Bears march right down the field. Marcus Wasilewski to John Ebeling for his second touchdown catch of the day. The Black Bears hold on for their 6th straight win by a 33-27 final. Maine is now 9-1 for the first time in program history and will look to clinch the CAA outright next weekend when they host Rhode Island at Alphon Stadium. The opening night of the high school football playoffs on Friday didn't provide any real upsets or surprises. Saturday wouldn't be so seamless for some of the favorites. We start in South Portland with the number 3 Red Riots hosting the 6th-seed Sanford in an A West quarterfinal. SoPo won at Sanford back in Week 5. The Spartans come out of the gates. They led the Red Riots 27-8 at the half. Speaking of coming out of the gates, check out Edward Machete getting away from the entire SoPo D. But there's Hayden Owen with the strip just shy of the goal line. The ball would roll around. Sanford falls on it to get the touchdown. They would take a 33-14 lead. Game over, right? Well, South Portland's been here before. Remember that huge comeback at Scarborough a few weeks back? Here's Duncan Preston to Joey Tobias. SoPo down just 33-26 in the fourth. 2 minutes later, Preston to Matthew Stearns. Red Riots down just one with 2:30 to play. With a shaky kicking game, having missed 3 extra points already, they go for 2, but it falls incomplete. Sanford survives 33-32, and they'll take on Thornton Academy next week. The regional finals are set for the 5th quarter football playoffs, with perennial powers asserting their dominance on Saturday. In Class A East, it was top-ranked Cheverus averaging 52 points a game on the year, taking on Bangor. Many of those touchdowns courtesy of Joe Fitzpatrick. 4 minutes in, he puts Portland up 7-0. He had 5 touchdowns on the day, over 200 yards rushing. Cheverus with a 37-0 shutout. They'll host Portland next Saturday in the Eastern A final at 12:30. Ohio State split their regular season matchup with Michigan State. They also shared the Big Ten regular season title. However, there would be no split in the final of the Big Ten tourney, where the winner would receive a top seed in the NCAA tournament. Buckeyes seeking their 3rd straight conference tournament title, taking on the Spartans in Indianapolis. In the second half, LB alum Aaron Kraft to Lenzel Smith Jr. with the 3-ball, 44-42 OSU. Later, Kraft creating again, this time to Deshaun Thomas in the corner. Ohio State's lead at 7. Sparty responds. Brandon Wood capping an 8-0 run. He had a game-high 21. Michigan State back on top by 1. Under 6 minutes to go, Scarlet and Gray down 5. Kraft and Thomas teaming up on the inbounds. All 5 OSU starters were in double figures, Bucks within a bucket. Then it's Jared Sullinger backing in for 2 of his 18. They trailed 64-62. Same score, under 2 minutes to go. Draymond Green, the Big Ten Player of the Year, helps put it away. Michigan State holds on 68-64.
Running, especially against the clock, comes at a price.
It hurts along the way. I'm usually very out of breath.
For many kids, putting themselves through that kind of pain is often someone else's idea.
My mother was the first one that told me that I should run.
She didn't really like it. I think she even hated it.
In this case, Abby Mitchell would keep with it and actually grow to like it.
It feels incredible afterwards.
I know how hard it was and everything else, but she said it was worth it to her to feel like she was one of the other kids.
That's because for the rest of the day, the senior at Falmouth isn't running with the pack, as she's just one of 30,000 people in the U.S. battling cystic fibrosis.
If I had the same problem, I probably wouldn't get out of bed.
I can't imagine, and I don't even think we realize all that Abby deals with.
There's inhaled antibiotics. There's therapy.
And medications, sometimes a lot of them.
I take probably about 12 medications, but multiple pills or multiple dosages of each.
Then there's her diet.
Apples, beans, watermelon.
Even those health foods are out of her reach, unless she wants to take more insulin due to her CF-related diabetes. All that sacrificing, though, has become second nature to Abby, as she uses each stride to add precious seconds to her life.
It's really easy to quit, and she never did. She kept on going. She used it as a motivation.
It's fun to have successes, but this is the kind of success that's way beyond, wins and losses.
Although for runners, there's no better feeling than beating the clock. In Falmouth, Csaba Sukosd, News Center. Competitive runner Sherry Piers had raced in 7 Boston marathons prior to Monday.
Give it up for Sherry Piers!
But the Falmouth resident had a strange feeling prior to this one.
I just was looking around thinking, wow, what a place if somebody wanted to do something terrible. This would be the type of venue.
Hours after Piers was done, Wyndham's Dinah Aldrich was doing what any proud mom would do at the event: cheer on her daughter at the finish line.
I've got my camera ready, the whole bit, and then boom, it just literally just shook the earth.
Pam Byther from Westbrook had completed the race 10 minutes earlier. Her daughter was also on the other side of the blast.
My main concern was just to get to my daughter.
Fortunately, both families were unscathed and later reunited. They then reassured the rest of the world via text and social media that they were okay.
When I turned on my cell phone, I had 247 text messages.
There is a sense of relief for now, but all 3 mothers share a common concern about the long-lasting trauma.
You're supposed to be safe. You're with your parents. You're having a great time. You're in America.
I'm just glad they were in nowhere near of that because, they had seen me at 4 different places and actually couldn't make it to the finish, thank God.
It could have been us. That could have been my daughter on the TV that, was one of the victims.
When I was growing up, my father, always stressed to me the little things. Don't make excuses for things. Excuses are words of failure. The game is the fun part. Training is the taxing part. So you got to push yourself to the extreme level where your body say, I cannot go there. But it really can. The toughest part is kind of telling yourself, no, finish it right now, even though your legs is tired. There's no way that the game is going to be as hard as I train. If the game is going to be harder, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
There you go, just like that, just like that.
My grandma always tell me, use things as stepping stones. You can use them as a stepping stone to fall down, or you can use them as a stepping block. You want to go hard, so it's game-like. So when you get in the game, you making that move, and it's like second nature. If you going hard, you gonna make a mistake. You cannot be perfect. Come on, stay focused, stay focused. If I miss 10 shots, stay focused. Plan on making the next one. When you become a pro, it's not about, you know, your athletic ability. It's more about mental. It's a mental game then, because there's so many people that can play the game. So now you got to start outthinking this opponent. I'm trying to focus on the small things so I can take myself to that next level. My body is looking completely better. I feel great, you know, and my confidence is, you know, is out the roof.
Fans around Sid Watson Arena in Brunswick have packed the stands for years to watch their beloved Bowdoin hockey team, celebrating with them after every goal. The same can be said of their newest follower and teammate, Harpswell resident Lucian Hodel.
Coach Mahar kind of talked to us about the idea of having a kid come and be a part of our program, and we said we're all for it.
The squad came into touch with Lucian through Team Impact, a nonprofit organization that connects collegiate teams with children facing adverse or life-threatening conditions. Lucian was born with cerebral palsy.
It's just a check. It's just an opportunity to reflect and be grateful and thankful for what you're blessed with, and also to make an impact on somebody's life.
With Team Impact ties already established at the school, it was a no-brainer that Lucian be linked to the hockey team. A week after being adopted as a 21-month-old from Haiti, Lucian saw his first hockey game in person. I understand you're a hockey guy. You like hockey a lot. Is that your favorite sport?
Yeah.
What do you like about hockey so much?
Physical.
Something Lucian witnessed up close and personal as his role quickly expanded from one of the guys to coach.
Anything you want to say to him?
Keep it up.
There we go.
It's a touching moment, actually. I felt like just seeing him come in, and we had heard so much about him, but it was great to just actually see him and really be able to talk to him.
He definitely brings a smile to all of our faces. He's one of those kids that he enjoys hockey. He loves life. You can tell that big smile on his face.
A lot of people think we just get caught up in the W's and L's and the winning, and really these are where I get my victories.
The biggest reward, though, belongs to number 28. What's it like to be a part of the Bowdoin hockey team?
Amazing.
He's definitely a huge part of our team now. Since he can't walk or play hockey, it's kind of like we're playing for him in a way.
In Brunswick, Csaba Sukosd, News Center.